Good evening, folks. Freddie Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered.
Freddie wins. Freddie wins. Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Quick update on things to come here in Basement Politics and some recent news. Shooting here in the city of Yonkers, but the victim of the shooting is not your average victim. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vazquez. Basement Politics Unfiltered. So people have noticed that the background's changed. Yes, let me just address that. If you like the other background, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff was damaged. I was literally in a basement, right? So a lot of water was coming in, and with the recent rains that we had, a lot more water came in, and so a lot of that stuff, my desk, some of the background stuff, was damaged, and really it was ready to go. We couldn't see it. A lot of it was on the bottom because I just was a lot of water coming in. So that's why. And actually, there's going to be some changes also happening to basement politics here. Wondering if I'm live, actually. Is it me or am I bugging? Anyway, let me know if I'm not live. If you can hear me, let me know. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing a different spin-off show called Interviews with Freddie Vazquez. And what I would like to do with that is to be a bit more of a mature, sophisticated show where I bring in guests to interview or to speak with them on different topics, different issues, things that are of importance to a lot of us, especially here in the city of Yonkers and Westchester County, and even in the state of New York. This Sunday, I'm going to be having a gentleman come on to discuss family court and to discuss some of the things that he's been going through with family court and the ordeal that he has had in the ever so many years that he's been dealing with this, and the amount of money that he spent. And it's a story that's very similar to others who I have had on my show. And many of the individuals that they have dealt with are the same. So tune in for that on Sunday. That'll be actually Sunday morning or early afternoon. I haven't locked down a time yet. But I'm trying to figure out if I am live here. Yes, I am. Thank you. I'm sorry. I couldn't see for whatever reason. But anyway, I want to talk about, by the way, if you're interested, there's a Reunite Yonkers event going on. If you are into cigars, check out Maestro's Cigar Lounge on Yonkers Avenue. I believe it's 748, but don't quote me on that. Right next to City Lights. So if you've been there, then you know where it's at. They're going to be having a Reunite Yonkers event. There are many special invited guests. Unfortunately, I was not one, and maybe you weren't either, but you can still attend if you want to be a part of this Reunite Yonkers. I just wanted to put that out there. Folks, of shooting in Yonkers, this is crazy. Where did I go? Where did that go? Where did that go? Off-duty police officers shot in the city. Everybody's getting shot. Well, we've had a Yonkers cop shot, right? That happened a couple years ago. An off-duty NYPD cop was shot or was wounded by gunmen in Yonkers Tuesday. Police source said the officer, identified by sources as Jorge L. Bencosme, was sitting in his car on Tompkins Avenue near the Sawmill River Parkway about 11:30 a.m. when the gunman opened fire, sources said. That's strange. The cop, a 6-year veteran of the NYPD, was hit in the arm and managed to take himself to an area hospital for treatment. The shooter squeezed off 13 rounds. 13 rounds at Bencosme, who was assigned to the 42nd Precinct in Bronx before the department placed him on modified assignment earlier this year and stripped him of his gun and shield. Hold up. Something's going up here. Hold on. Now it's starting to change. What's going on, Romario? How you doing? Hector, you on your way? 2 cigar minimum. Don't forget. So this dude was stripped of his gun and shield. So he didn't have a gun, I guess, and somebody tried to shoot him. I don't know. I think that if something's going on, he's trying to get that injury. You know what I mean? The gunman ran off and has not been caught. This appears to be a targeted attack at this time, and there is no standing risk to the general public. So, folks, again, most of these violent crimes are not just random, right? So, you're more likely to, just for the folks who are consider race and crime, you're more likely to be shot by the person that looks like you, right? So if you're a white person, you're more likely to be shot, killed, or the victim of a crime by another white person. If you're black, the same thing. If you're Hispanic, same thing. Most crimes, most violent crimes, or victims are not just randomly targeted. It may be someone from their neighborhood who looks like them, or maybe a relative, friend, or some enemy that they have. So just so you guys are safe out there. But that's crazy, right? You got 13 rounds was shot at this police officer, but something's up with him. He's got a shady past. He had his gun and shield stripped, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Check this out really quick. In Harrison, they're upset over here over elections. There's lawsuits happening there. It's all over. The Harrison supervisor Richard Dionisio, I'm sorry if I say that wrong, Dionisio, sues to toss challenger from race over term limits, right? And term limits has been a hot topic here in the city of Yonkers, right? The mayor winning his 4th term as term limits were overturned for a second time, right? That's been a hot topic. And by the way, I've since posted the podcast, Throwback Tuesday. If you missed that podcast on the term limit vote, check it out. I did share it there on my page. Late Monday, Harrison supervisor Richard Dionisio sued Ron Belmont, the former supervisor, to prevent him from taking office should he be declared the winner of last Tuesday's general election. The result of the elections are, as of Tuesday, uncertain, with 148 votes separating Dionisio, a Republican, from his Democratic challenger, Mark Jaffe. However, Belmont's wildcard write-in campaign appears to have placed him in a serious contention. So this guy even got write-ins. People are just tired, man. People are wanting to write people's names in. Dionisio estimates that Belmont may have received at least 1,500 write-in votes. Wow, that's pretty good, according to a lawsuit paperwork. In comparison, the ongoing tally currently has Dionisio at nearly 2,000 votes, and that's not including the write-ins. Despite repeated requests, this is important, and I wanted to, I quoted this on the post. Despite repeated requests to the Westchester County Board of Elections has not provided the Journal News Low HUD with preliminary data about Tuesday's election for Harrison's supervisor. As of last week, there remained additional ballots to be counted, including absentee ballots, affidavit ballots, and election day ballots submitted into what candidates say were faulty machines. So not only voters in the city of Yonkers complained about this, I've had people reach out to me about the machines being suspect when they were submitting their ballots, but you got voters in Harrison. The Westchester County Board of Elections has yet to provide preliminary results to the Low HUD or whatever Journal News seeking this information for this report. What are they hiding? Listen, I told you guys in Westchester County, it's not just Yonkers. I want to speak to everyone in Westchester County, at least. The Westchester County Board of Election is very suspect, very, very suspect. If you find things going on in your elections or things seem fishy, probably something fishy going on there, and it has to do with the Westchester County Board of Elections. In my opinion, all roads lead to the Westchester County Board of Elections, right? So that's what's going on there. What does this his lawsuit says? Dionisio argued that a local law adopted last year by the Harrison Town Board should have prevented Belmont from running for a supervisor and should keep him from taking office even if Belmont is declared the winner. Last year, the board passed a law preventing a supervisor from serving more than 5 terms. So if we were to get to, let's say, a possible 5th term, let's say in another 4 years, will there be a law that maybe, in Yonkers we could pass to say no more than 5 terms, right? 5 4-year terms. That's 20 years. And folks, it's a lot of reasons why this is not Spano. This is not targeted to Spano, right? Because I don't want people to think I'm targeting. I want you to get the point that it's not a good thing to have people in office for such a long time for many reasons. It just becomes difficult for others to challenge. People get comfortable, complacent. People maybe tend to lose touch with what's going on, being in that position, and also imagine someone being in there for 2 decades, right? 2 decades. Here we're going to have 16 years, but in this case, 5 terms, 2 decades. They change a lot. I mean, their time and tenure as a mayor or council person has a true impact that's really like reverberates for generations, right? I mean, they having a huge impact in all those years. It's basically molding a city or town or wherever to be like whatever this individual wants and feels is right. And many people here in the city of Yonkers have you know said they wanted something different. They wanted change. At least I get a lot of people that said they wanted this change. I didn't get a lot of people who were in support of what the election results were on Tuesday. And I'm not saying that there aren't any. I'm just saying, where are you folks at? I mean, and why don't you come? I know we got the fake accounts that do. Not sure why you guys hide behind fake accounts to support the current, administration or the current elected officials, council members, and legislators. Not sure why. I don't know why. But I want to see the people use their real accounts and say, "Hey, this is why I support." Give me some reasons. I want to talk about it, right? I try to be not just unfiltered, but also unbiased, right? And so I would like to present, that side of the folks who vote, the 15,000, almost 16,000 folks that voted for the mayor and all the other, folks that voted for, and the 300 folks that voted for Tasha to be Hector. No, I'm just kidding, right? Why did you vote for these individuals? Why? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to know, what was your thought process? Educate me. Maybe there's things that I've missed. I could be completely wrong. That's just me. 2 terms is more than enough. After that, it becomes communism. Yeah, it does. It's just a lot of reasons, right? And again, I don't want to say, it's not about a specific person. It's not about Natasha Diaz. It's not about Mike Breen's. It's just about, what does it mean when an individual is able to serve so many terms, right? What does it mean also when a city council can just overturn the term limits, right? Can change, can decide to amend the city charter, as they please, without the people really voting on this, and the people coming out to say, "Hey, we want this," or "We don't want this," right? That has a huge impact on the residents of Yonkers, right? That has an impact on the voters because it changes their options a lot, right? It does completely change the game when it comes to elections. If like I said, people knowing that Spano was now going to be able to run another term just eliminated a bunch of people who were interested in running for mayor, because they already knew that it probably was not going to go in their favor. So why take the time, the money? Me, I'm a fighter. I go up against all odds, right? But I learned a lot. And for me, I always look for the silver lining. And there was a great learning experience. And I think more people know who I am now and understand what I'm about now, hopefully, and can filter out, right, the negative things. And shout out to the people that were supporting me on Brian Harrod's page when he again and that guy from the Yonkers Voice were again discussing my wife. I'm not sure how they know her situation, right, so well, but they know about it, which is why I have to speak about it, because they put it out there. But they somehow they get information that's supposed to be confidential, but they seem to have it. But anyway, shout out to the people who defended me. I didn't know some of them. I did know there was one that I recognize a name or two, but the other people, I didn't see them before. I've never seen them on Basement Politics, supporting, but they're tired of it, right? And I understand. Listen, whether you like me or not, enough is enough with that guy too. And you have to understand what really he adds to this city, which is not anything that's great. It's not an asset. He doesn't add anything of value. And it's unfortunate that there are individuals that are a part of our political system that are funding this guy. That's his job. His job is to say these negative things about not just me, but a lot of other people. But thank you for the people who support. I appreciate that. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing more stuff. I'm going to be expanding the podcast. I want to do not just politics, right? We'll talk about politics, but I also want to speak to people in the community. I want to get residents. I want to get business owners, community activists, leaders, and even some politicians, to come on and discuss just the current affair of our city, what's going on, the changes that are happening, how they feel about it, how they've been impacted, positive and negative. We're not looking to be negative. We're just looking to have conversations that I think a lot of people have been looking to have and looking for a place to have it. And so I want to have that here. And so, again, I want to grow that, a bit. So I'll be doing interviews with Freddie Vazquez. And again, we'll touch on a lot of things like family court. So if you're interested in that, if you've had some issues with family court, I will be discussing that on Sunday with a gentleman who's actually not even from Yonkers, or maybe not living in Yonkers anymore, but has been dealing with the Yonkers family court system for quite some time, spending upwards of $160,000 trying to get his son back, who was taken away by the mother without notifying the father, without permission from the courts, and taking them many, many states away, and since making it difficult for the dad to see them. And this is something that many people have dealt with. And some of the individuals are the same individuals in regards to the judges, law guardians, and all people that are involved in these situations, these cases, and how they've been treated, right? How they have, how they have treated the parents who are really, going there for their kids. I mean, they should not be treated like criminals. This is a criminal court, yet it seems like they are made to be criminals, right? And it seems like it's a money sucking machine. And it's, if they know that you're going to spend the money, right? They know a guy's willing to spend 160,000. They're going to keep that going, right? So that's what some people say it's about. And I hope to have an expert on it who's written books, an author who's written several books on the matter, who's also went through it and also has her own podcast as well, very successful podcast and author. So I hope to have her on as well, joining us. So check out for that on Sunday. And again, like I said, we're going to be doing different things. So, and Hector, you and I are going to be talking, more, talking with the community, because I want to touch every community, right? Shout out to the South Side, Southwest Side, Freddie Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Go have a cigar with Rue and all of them. Let's reunite Yonkers, man. It's very important,
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
That's right. And so here I am, Freddie Vazquez, just in case you missed me, Rue. No, it's been a while, right? I can't have time for my family. I mean, what's going on? We were chilling. We were like enjoying ourselves. And you guys just, when I'm quiet, they want to, shake me up. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I told you guys that. I'm not.
Ready, wins.
Have a beautiful night, folks. Enjoy.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Frank.
Mr. Rumo lied to me, and I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken.
Ready, wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vazquez.
Pray for my wife. She did take her certification test. She did well. Unfortunately, and I'm wondering if people know this, they don't give the results to the state until like mid or late December. And so, people who know this well know how to utilize the system, right, to work against you. And this is why it's important that you educate yourself on the system. Know your rights. And whatever it is that you're doing, if you're working for the city, know your rights within that, position, and your rights, in terms of termination and all that stuff, right? Make sure you educate on the law and stuff. We have to do that. We learn when something comes up. I just start learning it. And so, we've been getting answers, but hopefully, there'll be, people of high integrity, people of their word, and people who care about our kids and only want the best for our kids in the Yonkers public schools. It saddens my wife when she gets, messages from students saying they miss her, and people saying that they miss her. They absolutely do, and we have to document and all that, with saving it, all that, just to show that. I mean, she's an incredible administrator. A true asset to the Yonkers public schools. And so why would you terminate someone over a technicality that doesn't require termination? That is not a unique situation. Happens. Teachers' certifications expire. They go take it. They don't get fired. It's an opportunity to fire someone if you want them fired for no other reason than you don't like them. Because if they were doing something else that warranted termination, then you fire them for that. But how many people have volunteered their time after work on weekends to do a program that they were not being paid to do, just so that kids in our public schools can have something that was not there. And it's not to criticize anyone, it's just to give them an opportunity to do something that they didn't have. And other things, right? And so if you want the best for our school, then you show it by retaining the best of the best, people who make a difference, who make an impact, especially in a short amount of time. I mean, it's sad that people don't care about what our kids need. They care more about their needs, their desires to target someone, right? Keep it out of that. Keep it out of the workplace. Keep it out of the family. The woman didn't say anything about anyone, right? They think that that's my Achilles heel, right? That's his Achilles heel. That's how we get him back. Let's completely destroy him. Let's suffocate him, financially. Let's suffocate him. And it's sad. It's sad because, again, my wife, I don't have a doubt that, she would be somewhere else in the same position and making the same money, in no time. Right? I have no doubt. But it's the kids that miss out, that lose out, right? It's the kids. She goes somewhere to another district where they have everything already. And, a district like Yonkers, where there's such a need for great administrators that look like a lot of the kids that go there, right? That build these great bonds and relations with the kids that, go on for into their adulthoods. My wife had kids that were in middle school, 12 and 13-year-olds, who are still reaching out to her in their late 20s, updating them on their lives. Just very recently, she was reached a younger, not in her late 20s, but early 20s, is doing photography for big time artists. And she wanted to show my wife how great she's doing and how her future, what became of her future. And so she's showing my wife her Instagram page. She sends her the link. And my wife says, wow, look at this student. Look at these pictures. Great pictures of celebrities on stage, at the Barclays Center, at Citi Field, with actresses and stuff. This kid, young lady from the Bronx, from a rough, school in the Bronx, District 9, one of the worst in the city, one of the roughest districts. That's where my wife came from, right? And these kids make it a point to reach out to her so many years later to say, hey, look what I've done, because, for whatever reason, my wife is able to, be like a motherly figure. And it's sad because there have been students that have said to her, I wish you were my mother, right? And that's sad. It's so sad. So if you care about the schools, if you care about these kids, do the right thing, Yonkers Public Schools. Do the right thing, Board of Education. Do the right thing, Board of Trustees. It's a technicality. And you already know what my wife has dealt with. I mean, there have been other issues with these evaluations it's just blatant. Like, it's right there. The lies are right there. Black and white. It shows that she's just being targeted. And there's a lawsuit that would affect the taxpayers of the city of Yonkers. Right? Now, it was not, it's unfair to the people, man. And so again, you folks, doing your thing, do the right thing, care about the kids, care about your word that you gave, right? She did her thing. My wife went above and beyond to make sure that she got recertified. But unfortunately, the official test results do not get, issued by the state until mid to late December, which is crazy because if there are people in this situation, and they need this right away, especially when they're being threatened to be fired, right? So she's been given to the 17th, but she's got it. So we'll see what happens. I believe in God, and what is supposed to be will be. And I'll still be right here on Basement Politics. I'm Freddie Vazquez. Be blessed. Be well. Have a good night. And say a prayer.